Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between or otherwise. We are back with Minor League Esports presented by APM Music for another weekend of fantastic twos action. My name is Gigabyte. I am joined by Fallen tonight, bringing you all the action for this first half on the MLE Esports GG2 stream. How are you doing tonight, Fallen?
Oh, I'm feeling absolutely wonderful. I've got the hair down this evening. I'm looking forward to some great action. And what a great way to start things off. A Premier League matchup between two of the closer teams in the division that they are sat in, the Sabres and the Puffins, and two great sets of players on either side that you could tell us a little bit more about.
Yeah, neither team doing particularly fantastic up to this point in the season. Sabres with a 3-7 record, Puffins sitting at 5-5. So these two teams are absolutely 100% looking to win this series and win with as many games as possible to put themselves in a good position moving forward. I mean, not to say there's not time in the season, but you always want to get every single win possible, especially to give yourself a good, strong early start.
Yeah, and especially with the lineups we've got today, the Sabres playing Kit and Duck for the first time this season, recently coming in as a new starter for them, and then the Puffins roster of Cali and Molakoa, a roster that we haven't, I believe, seen them play so far, mainly because Yor had to come in for a sub for Cali during week 2, a last-second replacement. But now we get to finally see this pairing, and it's the first time we've seen them play for the Puffins, but I feel like they are collectively a very strong roster, and definitely a roster that should be feared in this division, definitely up there with maybe the top 2 in this division against, I believe, the Foxes and the Wolves are the other teams. And as we get the players into the match, what a great game this might turn out to be.
Well, I certainly hope it does. We all know Molakoa from the Puffins can get stuff done when he needs to, but Kahewa and Gittenduck are standing in their way. We're off to the races for this third week of Minor League Esports, and already potentially a goal coming up from Gittenduck. No, it's going to go post to post and back out. Unfortunate break there for the Sabres. They almost had an early goal, but now it's going to be the Puffins who are going to try and respond.
Yeah, now we get to see just a little bit of the quality of Premier League here as Kahewa now tries to send this one to the middle, won't get it past the first defender, but will take his boost and look to try and control it. But Molakoa in a lot of control there and is immediately taken out of the game as both teams try to find their feet here in this series. It's going to be a tense one. I feel like both teams are almost desperate for a win, because a win here for the Sabres would guarantee them second place in the conference. And on the other side of things, you've got major production problem.
I think. Oh yeah. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, the little birdie in our ear has informed us that we will be restarting this lobby here due to some major production issues. We haven't been told exactly what they are, but we were just told, quote, major production issues. So stick with us here. But getting back to how these two teams interact with each other and how they play. You said that the Puffins were a very scrummy team, and that's something that I feel as though, looking at the stats of the team in general and how they've played so far this season, I think is absolutely true.
Yeah, especially in the case of the Sabres, they haven't had a very strong start to the season. They're currently 0-2, both losses. One at the hand of the Foxes last week, and then the first week of the season they played against the now top of their division Wolves. Did take them to game 5. It was a close one. It was on the B stream if you missed it, against Lottie Lettuce and Taki, who are quoted to be one of the stronger teams in MLE this season. I believe there was an overlay issue, and the lobby is now coming back up, so we will be able to get back into this game. But in the case of the Puffins, they've been put down as maybe the favourites coming into this series, but there's a lot of things that could easily go wrong in this matchup that allow the Sabres to find their footing. And really, all it would take is maybe 1 or 2 good goals and good little team plays from Kit and Duck and Kahewa to really get this series in their favour and really take control as we look to get Game 1 underway again.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, the Sabres could very easily take advantage of any opportunities they're given by the Puffins, especially because we saw how the very beginning of that, first non-existent game started out. Sabres almost got a kickoff goal really, really quickly. So you never know exactly what's going to happen. The Sabres could come out absolutely swinging here, and they're going to Kahiwa with the first goal of the match, 4 seconds into game 1.
Yeah, great little dunk there onto Molakoa, just getting the read off the sideball and then getting the ball straight in the back of the net. There's nothing you can do if you're a Puffins player to keep that one out. And Kahiwa joking in chat that maybe the server change did help him a little bit, and it may have just done as the Sabres take an early lead. But the Puffins almost take it right back, and they was as close as you like from Cali's shot there, just off the post and out. The Sabres, They looked a little shaky there on the recovery off that kickoff, and maybe we're going to see a couple of those kickoff goals here in this series. And there is a goal from Molakoa to even the scoring up immediately.
Yeah, Cali just being an absolute bully here. Kahiwa's trying to push this one up. Kitten Duck cannot get back in time. Might have gotten flashbanged as well by the demo there, so that's going to be an equalizer goal for Molakoa. 4:36 remaining in the game, 24 seconds in. Both these offenses very, very high pressure, high caliber, and they're both very fast. These players just trying to beat each other to the 50s as much as possible. The control game will play very heavily into both of their game plans. The question is who can execute it better.
Yeah, and especially when you've got the offensive capabilities of a guy like Cali. We haven't seen him play all season long because of the fact that we did miss him week 2. And there's a great chance for Kahiwa, but Cali composed on the goal line will clear it away. I feel like as a single player, Cali has the ability to change this whole series and make it a convincing one for the Puffins. But then again, you've got Kahiwa, who's playing apparently out of his mind right now in that dominance and could possibly change it back for the Sabres.
Yeah, Kahiwa looking really, really strong at the very beginning of this first game. Let's see how it progresses, as I believe he was going for maybe a flip reset there or a scoop or something. He is going to maintain control of this in midfield, but it goes right back out to Molakoa. That was a poor touch. Just as we were talking about it, you cursed him, Fallen.
Yeah, the attempted Kuxa pinch doesn't get the response he wants, and he also has no boost at that time, so he's not able to recover in time. And it just leads to an open net shot for Molakoa. He'll get that shot in the back of the net, and he'll do so quite easily, not missing a beat there with that chance, and now maybe looking to try and get a third goal. It's on target.
Oh,
Kingdom cannot keep it out, and it's 3-1 to the Puffins.
Kitten Duck, he had this first touch. Unfortunately, he was just coming across with way too much velocity to try to correct himself before he made it to that opposite post, and ends up just touching it right back in. Remember, everybody, ball physics do move you too, so that's exactly what happened to him. Now, Puffins, once again, on the offense. Cali shoots it to center. Molakoa looking for the touch, gets there a little bit early, and can't correct himself to get back in time, so now the Sabres will return it the other way.
Molakoa looking to try and control this one a little bit, but won't be able to take it away from Kittendog, whose flick is immense over the net. Kahiwa will get it back on target, and he will find the back of the net. 3-2. The goal lead, or the 2-goal lead, is 1/2.
What an angle here by Kahiwa. Just in the back, just far enough to the back post that Molakoa just couldn't get to it. Molakoa holding that front post thinking, nah, he's not going to be able to get it behind me. But Kahiwa with that slow little floater, perfect placement to get it past Molakoa. So we play on here with a 1-goal differential. Sabres not at all out of this one yet, especially with 3 minutes remaining. We can see the lead change a couple more times, and I think we're going to see another shot and the equalizer for the Sabres. Kahiwa playing out of his mind today.
Goal came off of a double commit there on defense from Molakoa and Cali, and then Kittendog just getting around both of them, centering the ball for an open net shot for Kahiwa, and he will slot it home. He gets his hat trick off of 3 great passes from Kittendog, and this game has already been as high scoring as any we've seen in Premier League all season long, and with full respect to all of the players, it feels like defense is sort of on the back burner here, and offense is everything in this matchup.
Well, there is an X factor in the matchup that we cannot ignore, and that is Cali. Cali currently on no goals, 1 assist, and 1 save. Not much offensive production from Cali there. And like you said at the very beginning of the broadcast, Cali can easily swing a game in his favor without much trouble. So is Cali going to come alive at any point in this game or this match, or is he going to kind of sit back and let Molakoa do the work? The question is, does he need to come alive? I'm sure if he's needed, he'll start performing like crazy. But are the Sabres going to be ready for when that happens?
And on the flip side of things, you have Kitten Duck, who's a new starter for the Sabres, had to come in as a mid-season replacement, as a new starter for the team, and already joining onto a team with Kahiwa, he's looking like he's got that chemistry immediately, looking to maybe go it alone here, but he cannot get it past Molokua. He does not look like a weak link in this matchup. In fact, with those 3 assists, look very strong, but there's Callie to immediately put the scoreline back to how it was. It's 4-3, and that was a thunderous drive.
This looked like it was just a little bit of a miscommunication here for the Sabres. Kitten Duck went for that challenge, did successfully get it, but flicked it up, expecting Kahiwa to be able to turn and make a challenge on that, but Molokua was just way too fast, and Kahiwa a little bit indecisive, so that leads to a 1-goal lead in favor of the Puffins once again. Another touch towards goal by Molokua. Kitten Duck barely able to keep it out of there off of the rebound shot by Callie. Try and carry it over. Molokua now does neutral 50-50, back pass to Kahiwa. Kahiwa gonna chip this one up into the air, looking for the drop down angle. No flip reset gonna happen either, so that will go back out. Sabres will have to reset, but they're already pushing again. Another touch, dropping down. Waterfall, Callie's able to get it out of the way, and Molokua back out to midfield. But the Sabres are doing a really good job of maintaining that midfield defense right now and locking the Puffins out of their zone.
However, that immediately breaks up with that little touch there from Callie to get it almost beyond Kahiwa, who couldn't pass it over to Kitten Duck. And now an opportunity here for the Puffins as they begin to apply that vice-like grip in the midfield. All they have to do is just continue to boost starve the Sabres defense, and they'll start to make more inroads on it as Callie now sends it over the middle. There's no one there to follow up. The other defender's completely out of play, and for once the Sabres are going to be able to break out of it and send one tempting towards the net, but Callie will be equal to it and will clean it away. 15 seconds remaining, and the Sabres need a goal to take this to overtime.
Well, they have an opportunity, had an opportunity. Kitten Duck just couldn't get around on it with enough time to get it towards the back of the net. Kahiwa gonna turn this one back, sends it long. That one's just in the arms of Callie, who's gonna send it over to Molokua, who kills it, and the Puffins take game number 1 of this 5-game series. And we said it, I said a little bit ago, but when Callie comes alive, Callie is the difference maker. He is the X factor. Molokua, amazing offensive player, but Callie, unfortunately, not just, no, I shouldn't say unfortunately. Callie comes alive when he needs to. And You know what? If you have someone who can get those offensive shots all the time, why not? Why not just let him take it?
So we've just had news from the production crew, and this is kind of hilarious. Callie's name has broken the production. Because his name has a little tilde on the I is kind of incredible. It has broken everything to do with the overlay, and we had to completely redo it. But we do have it up and running, and we should have the overlay that you're used to seeing now on the mainstream. That is going to be more akin to what we have been seeing, and it will all be back there up on stream as soon as we can. We're going to be doing that hopefully for game number 2, but we are going to have to wait to make sure that everything is up at first. In the meantime, the Puffins, we had predictions in the casters booth. For the majority of the casters booth believe that it will be the Puffins who take this one away, and especially the production team, they all believe that the Puffins are slightly favourites in this one, and they're going to take it away from the Sabres. And based off of that game 1, the fact that it took a little while for them to it took them a little while to get going, per se. They had the lead, they lost it, they had to get back into it, but whenever it started happening, and they started to find their feet on offense, it felt like the Sabres were sort of out of the game, in a sense, towards the back half. Do you think that the Puffins will be able to recreate that going into game number 2, or is that something that they are not going to be able to sort of continue to do?
So I don't think we can at all count the Sabres out of this match. Just to kind of generally summarize everything that I want to talk about here. I don't think we can count the Sabres out of this at all. They're going to come back. They're going to come back strong. We've already seen that Kitten Duck and Kahiwa are a very strong duo. And there's no question about that. Molokua and Callie are a strong, potentially even stronger duo. I still don't expect the Sabres to come out with a win in this series, but I do expect them to at least give the Puffins a run for their money, maybe pull a 2-3 out of it at some point. So The Sabres, they're not done yet. And we're going to see them come out of this with at least something, if I had to guess.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like maybe we've been slighting Molokora a little too much. He's shoving his coding prowess in the chat, which you can't see currently. He's just throwing up random lines of code for people, for our streaming boys, and they're not too happy about it. But either way, Molokora has been a strong force, and one of the
I take exception to that last line of code.
Yeah.
No, that would never mind. That's a coding joke for any of you out there.
I hate it. Moving on. Molokora has
Hold on a
been
sec.
one of those players.
Let me drink some more Java here.
Yeah, you drink your nondescript energy drink or whatever that was.
It's Java. Get it?
Java.
Ha.
Oh.
R/whoosh.
One sec, let me get some Python up in this.
I don't have a snake. I don't have a snake. I don't see a snake. Do you see a snake? I don't see a snake.
I don't see a snake. Anyway, Molokora has been one of the more interesting players. Can we focus? Oh, I love you, Kiga. I think you're a wonderful player, wonderful caster, and a wonderful player. Can we focus on Tasto, because Molokora is a very serious player and he does a lot of good work on the field. And you saw him in that last game. He had a much more prominent role on the team than Callie, and that's sort of how he has been all season long for the team. Whenever he has played, he has given a little bit more heart than the other ones. He's played 10 games this season, averaging about 1.4 goals per game. So about a 6 every series, and it is one of those players that you sort of expect to see in these sorts of matches taking the dub over, taking an L per se. And as we look to finally get game number 2 underway, we apologize for the delays. We wanted to make sure the overlay was fine. We should be fine now. I swear, if it's broken,
Let's hope.
I might have a go.
I don't know. I don't know. Let's see.
We're about to find out.
Is it still broken?
Is it working?
Hey,
it's
we're back up
working!
and working. Yeah, let's go. All right. Back underway here in game number 2. Callie's going to chip this one over to Molokora. Kahiwa is able to get that one clear. The Sabres already looking a bit more alive this game, just with how they're cruising around and actually rotating on defense. They're looking a bit more lively. Maybe that brief break helped them a little bit. Maybe froze up the Puffins.
Mentality-wise, it can definitely help certain players to have a small break and just sort of reset your thoughts. And in the case of the two players on the Sabres, it would definitely have helped to have just relaxed as both players commit. But Kitten Duck bails out, allows Kahiwa to take the shot. He will not find his way past Callie, though. Kitten Duck launches one of the net, and Molokora is forced to make a diving save to keep it out. There's another opportunity, and Callie's forced to keep it out. This one could go in, but Kitten Duck cannot find the target, and all of that offensive pressure immediately alleviated by Callie's touch there down the field, and they're forced to rebuild again from the back.
A little bit off target that was, otherwise it would have been a goal as well by Callie. Now, Molokora just undressing the remaining Sabres defender. Callie just dunking Kitten Dunk out of there, and Molokora taking it through to the end. So a minute 5 elapsed, and we have a 1-goal lead in favor of the Puffins. The Sabres defense breaks down a little bit.
Yeah, and to almost hitch onto the pun train that we were sort of taking towards the back end of that little break, Kitten got dunked. Now, moving on, Molokora looks to try and clear this one to the midfield. Won't get it past Kahiwa, my apologies. And somehow, Molokora dunks it into his own net. A great double tap off his own crossbar.
What is going on?
It's Premier League, what do you expect? Molokora with a great double tap past his own teammate. And the score is even here at 3 minutes 39 remaining.
Molokora like, no. The only one who scores on my net is me. Thank you very much. So now we have a 1-1 game here. Molokora trying to chip this one out of the way, but Kahiwa does end up coming and putting a shot across the upright. Callie, nice little chip. It's going to go on the backboard. Kahiwa is able to grab a hold of it and carry it up the side. Molokora is there. Kitten Duck goes up for this one. High angle, but is able to get there before Callie.
Love this pressure there from the Puffins. They're just starting to apply a vice grip in that midfield. There you see Molokora rotated out for the boost, but it doesn't matter where the boost is because Callie's boosting that one right into the back of the net.
Kahiwa, that wasn't a great touch, but he kind of needed to get a touch there just one way or another, and then just not able to recover in time to go back and get the other one as Kitten Duck got beat.
And that goal right there is almost a sucker punch to the Sabres. They'd gotten back into it. They felt like, off of a little bit of a misplay from the Puffins, they could maybe get some offense going. And there, almost a third goal there for Cali. Almost put that one away for the Puffins to go 3 goals ahead. But right now, the Sabres, they're seeming a little bit off their form. They're not getting as much pressure as we'd hoped they would. But and the Puffins are just sort of having their way with them. They're not playing over the top. They're not, well, I say that as Molokova goes for a cross-field air dribble, but they're not playing
goes over the top.
Yeah, they're not playing, yeah, fun. Haha, funny. They're not playing necessarily to their extreme. They're not playing to their extremities. They're not playing to the best of their ability. They're just sort of playing as they need to, as they see fit. If they need to get to a ball first, they'll be able to do so, but it seems almost handily as another pass comes out from Cali, but Moloko are not going to be able to deal with it. Now Kittenduk's attempt will be immediately shut down, and the Puffins will remain 2 goals to 1 up over the Sabres with 2 minutes remaining.
So the only problem with the playstyle you were talking about from the Puffins, and it's not necessarily bad, but it can make you very much more reactive than proactive if you're not careful. So they've got to be careful that they start losing control of the pace of this game and losing control of the ball in general if they're going to play like that. Although Molakoa doesn't seem to be slowing down at all. Chips one up in, trying to go for the top shelf. Cali trying to go for a double touch there, not able to get down on it. Okay, oh no. No one from the Sabres is going to follow that one, just gives away possession to Cali, and now they're both out of position. Kittenduk is able to come up and get a touch on that one. Go off the backboard. Cali's not going to be there in time to get a touch on that. Kahiwa sent it back out to the wall. Shot, is that on target? Ooh. No, it's corner down and out. Molakoa going to continue to control this one, gets it past Duck. One more to get it past, does get it past Kahiwa, no way!
Found it.
Oh,
no
dirty
way.
Dancing Molakoa.
He is having a field day.
He's just on fire here. Chips it over Kittenduk, the challenger. Kahiwa was not ready for that at all.
I mean, would you be? That sort of came out of nowhere, I'll be honest with you. And I wasn't expecting the shot. I was expecting, he'll tee it up for Cali, who'll put it away, and that'll be Puffins 3-1. No, he'll just do it himself. From the weirdest of angles, from the weirdest of shots, and he will now get a 4th goal. There is nothing the Sabres could have done to keep that one out. And Molokova, with his hat-trick complete, will just settle down, I think. That's 6 goals in 2 games for him. He is on fire right now.
That almost looked like a ghost touch to me from Kahiwa. I mean, nothing you can do about it, but that almost looked like a ghost touch from Kahiwa. So unfortunate if that's the case, but you cannot discredit Molokoa here. He is just playing like his life depends on it, and he puts another one on target off the crossbar and away. The Puffins firing on all cylinders on their offense here. The Sabres can do, it's everything they can do just to keep the ball out of net, let alone get a clear that they can control. They've been throwing the ball away to the Puffins on all of their clears, which is what is leading to these Puffins having such an offense. Cali going for the bump, and then it's just in the right position for Molakoa's pass too, so why not score it, right?
So he tees it up for himself, sees Kittenduk going off the ceiling, recovers well enough to get on the far side of the ball, and plays it underneath him. That is a solo play for the ages from Cali, and that right there may or may not, in my mind, be the clincher that the Puffins have this series under lock and key. There's another opportunity here. The ball will just sit in front of the net for so long, and the Sabres, they don't have an answer here to Molakoa and Cali's just almost oppressive offensive nature, as another opportunity will fall to Cali.
What
this time
Kahiwa
will get the save across the goal line with 10 seconds remaining, and as we look to game number 2, or say game number 3, my apologies, it feels like an age since game number 1, so I thought this was game number 1. My mind doesn't like me.
Darn it, Cali. Darn it, Cali, causing all those production issues.
Darn it, Cali. What do the Sabres need to do at this point to break down that offense?
Honestly, they need to get Puffins back into their own zone. They need to control these clears out past midfield. We see them just throwing it away back out to midfield, where Molakoa and Cali are just waiting there to send it back in and set each other up. They cannot allow that to happen. They have to either be finding each other on the passes or getting it, one of 3 things: finding each other on the clear, so a pass to clear, bombing it so far downfield that it just goes into the opponent's corner, and then they can follow it up from there while picking up some boost, or the most ideal is carrying it out themselves and trying to slow down the pace of the clears a little bit to be able to gain some better control. The Puffins haven't really dealt with that all that well when we've seen the Sabres actually do it, so can't give that ball away like you're doing.
Yeah, they have to try and find some control, especially in that midfield game where the Puffins just seem so relaxed. There's very little that they can do to really sort of break out, and you can see from the stats, 14 shots from the Puffins, I believe only 5, maybe less for the Sabres. It was a slaughter offensively from the Puffins, who were just keeping them penned in majority of the game, and whenever the Sabres did get a breakout, it felt like it was the Puffins gifting them a goal rather than, you know, the Sabres making anything for themselves. And as we get into game number 3, the series here is on the line for the Sabres. They need to get this game win to keep their hopes of taking 3 away alive, and that's a great way to start. Kittenduck buries that one in with 10 seconds gone.
Well, the Cats break out of the cage here. Kehewa, that was a great job beating both of the Puffins defenders as they double commit on that on the wall there. Callie and Molokova caught out of position, and the Sabres will capitalize on that all day long. So 1 goal up now, 10 seconds in. Kittenduck wins another kickoff pretty handily. That's going to force the Puffins to go back on defense for this initial volley here. Molokova, though, doing a great job of carrying it out.
Yeah, I just love the control he seems to have over the ball right now. He is on a different level of existence, it feels like, when it comes to controlling the ball and taking out of his own half. He's so confident in his own ability to go up in the air, take the ball away from the offensive players of the Sabres. However, oh, what a save, Molokova. How did you keep that one out? That didn't find the back of the net. The Sabres will only have a 1-goal lead for the moment, but now the Puffins have a chance to counter-attack, and it could easily go the other way.
That almost looked like a spike rush save. It looked like he was not going to be there in time to be able to get a hold of that one, but just kind of dragged it out through sheer force of will. Molokova standing up on every side of the field tonight. And he's going to try and carry this one back out. Does get it to Callie. Callie's going to look for the dunk maybe to get under Kehewa, or maybe the scoop. Neither one works. Kehewa does get the save back up to Kittenduck. Now, this is what we were looking for a little bit more from the Sabres, were these controlled clears.
However, it doesn't pay off. A good challenge from Molokova now, just threatening a demo maybe in their net. Wouldn't be there, and I'm not sure if he'll get back. He should do. He'll pinch it off his own post for the Saviour medal, but again, the Puffins, they don't feel as confident as they did in games 1 and 2. Kittenduck almost hit the impossible double there, and Molokova now having to dribble this one up the field. Again, the level of control there, able to get it off the roof of his car so cleanly and towards the net. But the Puffins, they don't seem as confident as they did in those 2 previous games. It feels like this one's a lot closer as Callie looks for a double tap. He won't find it, but he will tee up Molokova to get that equalising goal, and I'm forced to eat my words once again.
This is a great opportunity here for the Puffins to drag the Sabres out of net. They get them both with that touch, and Callie was just setting up Molokova. He knew he wasn't going to be able to get a touch on that one to put it down on target, but Molokova was there. That was communicated ahead of time. Great job by the Puffins to drag the Sabres both out of net to be able to open up a hole.
Yeah, now Kittenduck looking to take this one back into the Puffins' half. They were sort of sat there for a little bit on defense, and now Callie immediately making them fall back once again, taking the back boost, keeping them penned in, and Molokova with the midfield touch will try and keep it in, but Kehewa now, with limited boost to work with, and by limited I mean nothing, almost gets that ball towards the net, but Callie's clear is strong, and now the chance here on offense. He knows he hasn't got much boost to work with, but he almost gets the shot either way. Molokova now looking for maybe a double tap. It almost finds it, but it's just wide of the net, and the Puffins will yet to find their first lead here in game number 3. The score remains 1-1 with 2 minutes 15 remaining.
The Sabres are being forced to push this back up field with absolutely zero boost, and that is playing right into the hands of the Puffins, because yes, you're controlling it up to the midfield, but you don't really have that great of control over it if you have no boost and can't really juke anyone out from challenging you. However, the Sabres are going to get a long clear here. Molokova saves the shot that ends up, or saves the clear that ends up becoming a shot. Kittenduck off the wall, trying to send it back to center, not able to get a touch, and Molokova will have that one all day long. Sabres, Kittenduck, low on boost here. Molokova looking for the demo. That'll open up the door for Callie. No! Callie missed it! No way!
What?
And Kittenduck is able to get out of there. Callie misses the opportunity. If they end up losing this game by 1 goal, they're going to end up kicking themselves so hard here. Kehewa does get a long clear, but Callie is there at midfield. either way, Cali set up an opportunity for the Puffins to get an offensive opportunity here, but still missed goal opportunity.
A demo there from Kittendog just killed any opportunity of a passing play there from the two Puffins players, but getting bumped out of the way by Monaco, and now the ball's teed up in front of the net. Cali looking for something special. He'll find the angle with the double tap. Finally finding what he was looking for all series long, and he'll do it in game number 3 to take the Puffins to a 2-1 lead.
Well, exclamation point play of the week in chat. If you like that one, take a clip of it, submit it to Twitter using the hashtag MLEPOTW or Play of the Week channel in the MLE Discord server. You will be, that was definitely worthy of a nomination from Molakoa there. Excellent job, or sorry, Cali, excuse me, from Cali there. But wow, what a save from Kittendog. That's an opportunity for Play of the Week as well. But just under a minute remaining, and a long clear will give the Sabres the equalizer, and they're not done yet.
And that all came off of a great defensive play from Kittendog, keeping out the shot from Molakoa, then clearing away his touch towards midfield, taking out the other player in Cali, just setting up his teammate to finish that one off, and he does so easily with an open net. Unlike Cali, who seems to have a little bit of a problem dealing with open nets currently, but hopefully he'll find his footing in that sense throughout this series. Kittendog looks for a redirect on the rotation out, will not find it. Another opportunity goes begging though from Kittendog. He could have put that one in. There was no one back, but the Puffins will live to fight another day here, and maybe have to use up a couple more of their lives here. But speaking of lives, you've got the Sabres. They've got 9 lives. These felines are doing their best to keep themselves in this series. They've got 10 seconds till overtime, and if they can hold on, they will have a chance to keep themselves alive in this series. But it's going to be such a close one as we get into Game 3 OT. I have no idea which way this goes.
Yeah, honestly, I think the Sabres might be able to get a hold of it. We've seen the Sabres are better on the kickoff goals. The longer it goes into a consistent play stretch. What it... Oh, Kahiwa not able to come up and get that touch. And another shot from Cali off the rebound. That was intense, but the Sabres are able to outlast it just barely with a healthy amount of fortune in their favor. Now, Molakoa back over to the Sabres side. Tried to flick it out for Cali. Cali was just pushed up a little bit too far. Wasn't ready for that hard of a push out. Kahiwa back to center. Molakoa, nice little clear there. Kitten.
Is that on?
Slow looper. It was on. Cali was able to come off the wall and get a hold of it. Sometimes those slow loopers can be hard to save, man. Molakoa, shot, Kittendog, save! Back and forth, where we stop, nobody knows. The Sabres just trying to get it out of their own side now. And the Puffins, they're doing everything they can on their side, too. Some great offense and defense coming out from both of these teams right here.
Love that respect from Molakoa. He doesn't know if Kahiwa, my apologies, was faking he had no boost, but knowing he didn't have any boost, it made that play look a little weird from the side of things. Molakoa's shot is on target, but it's so slow that Kahi was able to recover and make the save. Again, the respect these two teams have for one another. You can already see it on the field as Kittendog is bumped by Molakoa, and Cali can just drift this one home. He won't miss a second open net, and he will secure the game win in game number 3, and will secure the series. Oh, my apologies. Yep, series, right?
Yep, series.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just making sure. I thought I misread it. No, he will collect the series for the Puffins, and a great performance from him to do so. A very strong play from him in that game, especially towards the back half, really coming alive on the offense. But a better game for the Sabres with nothing really to show from it.
Yeah, they definitely played very, very well this game, looking a lot stronger on the defense, able to get some good clears out. But you know what? The Puffins, they keep adapting, and they keep going for those aggressive plays, and they keep pounding the backboard and the net as often as possible to force the Sabres to make defensive plays that they really genuinely don't want to. And then Molakoa absolutely bullying out the last remaining Sabres defender to get the game-winning goal in overtime. That's how you get it done. And I certainly hope that we see the Sabres start to kind of pull out the bullying a little bit more on the Puffins defensive end as well. That's going to be one of the best ways to get the Puffins out of position. So maybe the Sabres can do that. Kittendog and Kahiwa, no matter how you look at it, they've lost the series at this point. There is no use in waiting at this point. You might as well just go for broke. Whatever you can think of doing, do it.
And with that win, the Puffins have guaranteed their position as the second top team in their division. They will finish in second no matter what the rest of the results are, considering the Foxes' 4-1 loss at the hands of the Wolves yesterday. And what that means for the Sabres is now they have basically guaranteed themselves bottom after 3 weeks. They don't have the ability to take a spot off of the Foxes or off of the Puffins or the Wolves. What they can do now, though, is try and improve their record, because if they sit with only 3 wins off of 3 weeks of gameplay, it's not going to look good for them. But with shots like that from Molokova and a misplay on the defensive backboard from Kahiwa, it's not looking good for them.
That's not how you start a that's not how you start a game there, especially a game 4 where you're just trying to get a couple wins out of this one at this point. You got to make connection on the backboard like that, otherwise Molokova is going to punish it all day long, and he might punish this one here. Not quite able to do it. Kahiwa tried to put one on target, but Molokova almost could have connected with Kali there to get a long clear.
Yeah, but instead trying to go it himself, and he's still doing it himself, and Kali just giving him all the time and space. He's not challenging at all, and then will instead send the ball long when he gets the opportunity to. The amount of trust those two players have to know that, yeah, Molokova is just going to do that great double save there from the Sabres, my apologies, to keep that one out. But the opportunities keep coming thick and fast. Molokova can't find the target, and Kittenduk is allowed to clear this one away, but limited boost here for Kali going forward. Will immediately give it over to Molokova, who'll look for an offensive play and almost gets it past both Sabres players.
Look at that control by the Puffins. Kali was only on 12 boost, caught the ball, knew Molokova was on the wall there, flicked it over to Molokova to try and continue the offensive push. That is some amazing control there by the Puffins, an amazing team play, and that is probably the biggest thing that we're not seeing from the Sabres, is we're not seeing them really function as a team. We're seeing them cover each other, on clears, and they'll pass to center generally, but we don't really see them connecting directly to each other. And the Puffins, they're doing exactly that. So the Sabres, they need to start connecting, finding each other, giving each other direct passes instead of area passes.
Yeah, and now Kahiwa looking at trying to send that one towards the box. He won't find the touch, but Kittenduk's shot is on target, and there's nothing Kali can do to keep that one out. A thunderous drive into the top corner from Kittenduk will get the equalising goal here with just over 3 minutes remaining. What an absolute drive that was from out of nowhere.
Kali actually, I think, got that save, but then just couldn't control himself in the air with enough time and enough presence to be able to chip that one back out. So unfortunate, but sometimes that's the way it happens. No matter what, that was a fantastic shot there from Kittenduk. Now we have the Puffins making another drive into the Sabre zone. Kahiwa looking for another shot, and Molokova is back in time to be able to get that save. But the Sabres now have a little bit of control, and they're going to seek to use it. Kittenduk, what a bump there! To make sure Kittenduk couldn't get a good touch on that one. Kahiwa, another shot on a defended net. Molokova there easily.
I'm seeing a couple more offensive players or bump attempts from Kittenduk and Kahiwa. When they've taken a shot and they've not put it in immediately, they'll go for the last defender who made the save. And as you can see there, Kittenduk proving my point, doing that to Kali. They are learning from the Puffins. The problem is they're doing it a little too late. The player's already moving out of the offensive zone when they're going for a bump on the last man, and they're not able to put away an opportunity that the other teammate has set up. And that is probably the biggest missed point of that play from the Puffins. The way and the style of that play, where they go for the bump, they're not doing it after they've taken a shot, they're doing it before the shot's even happened. They are setting up for a shot by bumping the defender out of the play. And because they seem to not be doing that, the Puffins are able to just control the ball and stay in the game long enough that the Sabres can't get any goals going for them.
Now, though, Kahiwa with a long clear, it is Molokova back. And you know what? Those are the exact clears that I'm talking about. You can't bomb it upfield like that if you know that there's someone back there. Otherwise, you're just going to give possession away. And in twos especially, possession means more than anything. Kittenduk is, however, going to be able to get a ball clear into the Puffin zone. Kittenduk back to center, looking for Kahiwa. Kahiwa not able to connect with it. Kali does beat him out. Kittenduk looking to just delay this here. Flicks it over Molokova, trying to get it past Kali. Does get it past Kali. Opportunity for Kittenduk here, and that'll be a leading goal for the Sabres.
And that was just a great piece of solo play from Kitten Duck. Beats one, beats the other, gets the control off of the read off the ceiling, able to put it in the back of the net, clean as day, and a great play there from him. Almost, I would say, a player of the week level play, considering the people he's going up against are two of the better players in Premier League this season. But, you know, compared to the goal we saw earlier, maybe less so. Maybe less so.
Maybe less so, but it was definitely great, and I think the best thing about it was how well he controlled that ball, fighting on. Well, he flicked one, then 50'd another one and won that 50 so well that he could just take it upfield and shoot on the open net. So, great job there by Kahiwa to take that one, or sorry, Kitten Duck to take that one. My bad. Now the Puffins are looking to strike back here, but Kitten Duck does get a long clear back into the Puffin zone. Molikoa now controlled, and the demo comes out from Kitten Duck. Once again, you said, might be learning from the Puffins there, and the Sabres will go out to a 2-goal lead with 23 seconds remaining, and I believe that'll be the dagger.
And that right there is a better way to use a demo. On the rotation now, when the player has control of the ball, it takes his teammate, who he was looking to pass to, out of the play as well, and forces both of them to double commit on that defensive play. Both men missing the ball. Kahiwa were able to bury in the back of the net. And the Sabres, they look a little better coming into the back end of this game. If we'd only seen this type of Sabres performance in game number 2 and 1, and maybe even game number 3, we could have easily seen this go the other way. But right now, the Puffins are a little passing play, a little bit of cheat on offense, and Molikoa will bury it away. The game is not over yet. We could still see a kickoff goal as the Puffins half the lead. It's 3-2 to the Sabres currently, and it's not over.
That was a filthy flick there by Callie. Just absolutely dirty. Take a shower, my man. 5 seconds. We could see that goal, like you said, although a win by Kitten Duck is going to make it a little bit more difficult. And now that's the game right there. Kitten Duck going to finish it off with a 0-second goal to put the Sabres up with a 4-2 win. And you know what? I'm kind of relieved, Fallen, because I thought for a second there, for a moment, I thought we were going to see our third 5-0 series in a row. Because if you remember last week when we casted together, it was 2 5-0s.
It's funny you mention that, because I went back and I checked, because I rewatched the stream. It turned out that every single game on that B stream that day was a 5-0. Every single one. It was kind of insane watching back. Biggles mentioned it to me in passing after he casted after us. But considering today we have 2 Foxes games on after this against the Wolves, I sort of hope that we weren't going to get a 5-0, because I'm a little worried for those matchups, especially considering me, the new GM of the Foxes. But either way, moving on to this series and focusing back on this. So
what you're telling me is we're going to see Wolves go 10-0.
What we're going to see is we're going to see the Foxes go 10-0. Either way, the Sabres take game number 4. They bring themselves to a 3-1, a 1-3 record here so far in this series. We do have game number 5 still yet to play, and I feel like they found something now. Maybe Kitten Duck has got something working that we didn't know he could have before. His solo players are starting to pay off a little bit more than they were originally, especially that goal there to take it to 3-1. A great little double beat to get that one on the back of the net. And as we look to game number 5, can the Sabres take another one, or is this one that the Puffins will take home and get the job done on?
I don't know. I predicted after that game number 1 that the Sabres would come back in 3 and at least get 2 out of this. So, you know what? That's what I'm going to say that they're going to do. I think it's going to be Sabres going to come back and take the last game here, game 5, because we are starting to see Kitten Duck light up. And when Kitten Duck and Kahiwa are both playing very well, good things happen. So, we'll see what happens, but I think the Sabres are going to be able to do it.
All right, well, let's see how they do to start game off, as Molikoa with a great beat there on the sidewall won't get anything out of it. Looks for the demo on the defender, will not find it, but Callie's shot almost on target, will bounce off the post and out, and both of the Sabres are praising the stars for saving them there. Kitten Duck maybe looking for a musty, but had way too much momentum, was never going to be able to get the flick. Now that ball dangerously floating in front of the net. Molikoa almost bumped off the sidewall by Kahiwa, but he will be able to make the save, and the Puffins will look to maybe get a counter-attack here. A minute gone already, nothing yet. However, there is a goal from Callie. Oh, it's the caster's curse.
That's a hashtag play of the week nominee there. Callie just flicks this one up, carries it just long enough, and then bumps Kahiwa out of the way. That was a calculated bump too. Callie, you vicious man, you. 1-goal lead for the Puffins, 4:04 remaining in the game. And Cali is just merciless here. They wanted that 5-0, and you can see it. So they're going to get a 4-1 if they have anything to say about it. Moloko with a flick. Kahiwa with a great save. Going to at least keep them to a 1-goal lead.
Yeah, and Cali, though, will
Never
get
mind.
the goal. Oh, a brilliant shot. Top corner again from Gali. His placement has been absolutely murder so far. Able to read the clear from Kitten Duck to keep that ball in the offensive end and then just slotting it home like it was nothing. The Puffins, this is game 2 Puffins. This is, if we're to make a reference to another game in this series, this is game 2 Puffins. This is them at their peak. They are playing for fun again at this point. They're playing almost... They realise that they can beat them, and they will beat them, and they're not going to take their time with it anymore. They're just going to start slaughtering as Cali makes it 3 off of a great turnaround. The Sabres look like headless chickens out there. There's nothing they can do on defense to keep him out.
Oh, the double commit. Kitten Duck tried to go for it as well. Kahiwa had that one completely cleaned up, but unfortunately, that is going to be a 3-goal lead here for the Puffins, and it's starting to look like this game 5 is going to slip further and further away from the Sabres. Puffins looking like they're unstoppable right now.
Yeah, the Sabres need to find some offensive pressure. There's an opportunity for Kitten Duck, but he's not going to be able to find the pass to Kahiwa. Cali going off the ceiling. Moloko is already up there, but Kitten Duck's touch will take it away for the moment, and he will not be able to make the save. However, Cali makes it 4 in this game, and we're inside 2 minutes. This is going to be a lot of flashbacks to a game I watched on an affiliate stream last night where I was commentating the Dodgers and the Elite Champion League match. One of the games was an 11-3, and they scored 4 inside the first 2 minutes. I'm a little worried for how this match may turn out, but hopefully the Sabres will be able to keep a defensive display here. Kitten Duck shot, saved by Cali, and the Puffins now look to build from their back end here. Can the Sabres keep them in their own half for a little bit longer than 5 seconds? Let's see.
Well, the Sabres look like they're just trying to show off here a little bit. They kind of accept that, you know, they've fallen down 4-0, so they're just trying to get a couple really good plays in, maybe boost the morale a little bit, get themselves feeling good again so they can come back and try and make a run for a comeback here. But the Puffins are just stifling them at every single turn. Kitten Duck does get a demo on a Moloko there, trying to open up a door. Oh. What a pinch by Kitten Duck there. He's going to put one through. And that was completely unexpected by Cali. And Kitten Duck apparently wants a Play of the Week nomination there. But we've seen a couple other amazing plays from this match. So hold your horses there, Kitten Duck.
Yeah, Kahiwa in chat saying Play of the Week, no doubt. Even Cali was going true. It's a lot of respect and a lot of love between these players, but a great touch there from Moloko, taking it away from the defender in the corner and on the backboard, and then just sort of slowing it down by catching it with his wheels, allowing Cali to get there in time to put it away. Half the game is gone. The scoreline is 5-1 in favor of the Puffins, and we've had 2 Play of the Week nominations possibly in 1 game. This game is just going to be a bit of fun. This is just going to be a bit of fun, isn't it, for both teams? It
does indeed look like they're kind of putting on a freestyle show here. In fact, I hope we see a freestyle goal, at least one more, or at least one by the end of this game. That would be really cool if they just kind of informal decision to start freestyling on each other. Kitten Duck going to keep that one out. Is anybody's money not on Cali?
They could put the money on Kitten Duck. Kitten Duck's got the ability to. I mean, look at him. He's going up for a ceiling shot already, but a great dunk from Cali will shut that line down.
Backward ceiling shot, by the way.
Yeah, the Puffins trying to put that one away will not find the touch. Cali's shot will be saved by Kitten Duck. He will keep it out. And for the moment, the scoreline will remain the same at 5-1. But the offense is going and it's flowing back and forth as quickly as a tennis match does. It feels like both teams are just sending the ball down the field and then sending it right back again.
Sabres now trying to not have it sent back again. They were doing a good job of controlling it there, and Kahiwa will come up and get the dunk on a Cali, open up a door for Kitten Duck to try and put one through, but it's going to go wide into the corner, and Moloko will have this one controlled all the way back upfield. Going to take it into the defensive third of the Sabres, and Kahiwa gets a nice clear. Potential open net here if Kitten Duck can get there fast enough. Not going to be able to chip it over Moloko though, and that's going to be the 1 minute remaining. This is pretty much just over here at this point. I don't really see any way the Sabres come back into this. barring a major choke from the Puffins or, a bunch of open nets like Kahiwa has here, but not going to capitalize on it. So the Puffins will take this one 4-1, but you really can't discredit the Sabres. They did show a lot of potential here. I just don't think that their execution is on par yet.
Yeah, and the Puffins, especially in that game number 1 and game number 3, you got to see them at a moment where they could have lost the games, and they came through and they got the win when they needed to. And having that series wrapped up in game number 3 sort of just allowed them to relax a little bit, and now realizing that maybe, yeah, the Sabres are pretty good, as Cali will put away the 6th goal for them. They thought, you know what, no, we actually do need to win this one 4-1. I'd like to push for top spot here. I'd like to go up with the Wolves, and Cali will really be the instrument for that for the Puffins. I believe he's on 6 goals from 9 shots in this game, whilst Molikova's got 4 assists. It feels like Cali's just sort of opened up the pit almost, and has just decided to take the team on his back and just sort of run offensively all game long.
Kahiwa back down to center. This is just waiting to hit the ground. There it is. The Puffins will take game 5 and take this series 4-1. And what an amazing play and display there by the Puffins. Like we said, the Sabres, they don't seem to be all that bad. However, it's just, you can't really stand up against the Cali Molikowa combo. And I believe we do have a match highlight here, and it is, wasn't it the Cali air dribble, I believe? The Cali air dribble. Yeah, the Cali air dribble. This was just a gorgeous dribble here by Cali. Chips it up, puts it over Kahiwa, and just goes for the calculated demo. That's definitely a play of the week nominee there. So vote for your play of the weeks in the proper channel in the MLE Discord server. But you know what? Like I said, and like we said a couple times, don't discredit the Sabres. Cali and Molikowa are really hard to stand up against, but they've shown a lot of potential.
Yeah, especially towards the back end of that series, game 4, game 5, you got to see just a little bit of the flair that Kitten Duck can put on. That brilliant ground pinch into the back of the net, which has just popped up in the match highlights on our screen, just sort of in the lobby itself. It was really, as the server goes down for maintenance, wonderful timing.
Of course, right?
It wouldn't
be a night of Rocket League without a server issue, right?
No, it wouldn't. There's always a server issue in some way, shape, or form. But we also had an overlay issue, that's its own thing. But thank you, Cali, for that, and thank you, Cinderblock and Simple and JSA for all keeping that alive. But as we look towards the future, we do have a Foundation League matchup coming for us. Remind me who the 2 teams are again.
The Foundation League matchup coming up next is Outlaws versus Pirates. Ooh. The top of the MLE to the bottom of the MLE. That's okay, though. These players have a lot to show off that they are ready for that next level. It's going to be a great match from what I'm seeing from these two rosters coming up here. Also, if you want to, I believe we have other matches coming up on MLE Esports GG in the main channel too, so if you want to head over there, you can. Or stay here for some amazing Foundation League matchup. We will be back in just a few minutes. Gigabyte and Fallen bring you all the action. See you then.